I'm Tommy Evans from Droids Recording Studio, and in this one, we're doing that lo-fi radio telephone effect after the intro. After the intro. Intro. Oh, something's broken. Hold on. Let me call Devin.
I wanna kiss you, really miss you, girl.
Oh, hey, look, Tom's calling. Hey, Tom.
Yeah, buddy. Hey.
What are you doing? Aren't you supposed to be filming an intro today?
I am. Hey, listen, I'm trying to cue the video intro,
Uh-huh.
but it's not working. What am I doing wrong?
Well, which way are you doing it?
I tried it this way. I did it that way.
No. You gotta go bottom up.
Seriously? No, I didn't think it mattered.
I don't know, man. Just the way it is.
Okay, let me try. After the intro. Droids Recording Studio is run by two people, Tommy Evans, that's me, and Devin Schmid. Devin is actually going to be the one to show you how we do the telephone effect. We are audio engineers that specialize in heavy music, and we make videos about the recording and the mixing process of that. If this is something that you're into, that's awesome. Thank you. Follow along by hitting the subscribe button and by tapping that little bell icon so that you get notified every time we post something new. Without any further ado, Devin.
Alright, good day my audio friends. This is Devin with Droids Recording Studio. Today I have a quick tutorial for you on using the telephone effect. I'll show you a couple ways to do it, a couple other fun things you can try with it, and how I often utilize it in a mix. Alright, so let's take a listen to the audio we're working with today. All right, now let's say a band came in and said, "Hey, I really like that telephone effect. Right here between bar 4 and 5. Can you make that just sound weak and lo-fi and kind of like a telephone?" If anyone ever comes to you with that request, it's one of the most simple requests because literally all it is heavy EQ filtering. All you need to do is do a high pass and a low pass and just bring it in so somewhere in the mids is really the only frequencies that are getting through. So basically, I'm going to utilize Waves plugins because those are my favorite. If I pull up in a Q2, which is an EQ made by Waves, this Q2 here, we can turn on these two bands, turn on a high pass and a low pass, set the starting frequency somewhere around 500 and the second frequency somewhere around 2000. Now this is rough, and really you could set all kinds of settings similar to this and it's going to sound cool. But this is just a real quick starting point for the telephone effect. So I'll turn this off and on here a few times while it plays. So even that right there was basically the telephone effect, and all we did was take a Q2 and filter it, and it sounded pretty good right off the bat. Another option if you use Waves is the Q10 has a built-in template called telephone. This right here sounds great. I mean, if I need a telephone effect, most of the time I might just grab this and click the button just to save time because it sounds awesome. I'll do the same thing here, off and on. Sounds pretty good to me. If you are a JST user, that's Joey Sturgis Tones, he makes a plugin called Gain Reduction, which is for vocal compression. There's a button on here called Lofi. If you're looking for the cheater's way to do this, you can turn your sleigh all the way down, and all you gotta do is click this Lo-Fi button. It'd probably help if I turned on the plugin. Another cool feature about using this is if you turn the gain up even more, you introduce some saturation. So you can saturate and turn it lo-fi, which can sound pretty cool sometimes. My next point is, this is a stock distortion here in Cubase. I use Cubase 8. Keep in mind that this technique here of the lo-fi effect is going to work in any DAW. But this stock distortion that I've loaded because occasionally, not always, but sometimes when I load the telephone effect, it just sounds almost too weak, and I want to add a little more grit. The reason I loaded this is just to let you know that sometimes adding some distortion after the telephone effect can bring in some of that, I don't know how to describe it, that grit. Even though it sounds too weak, if you put the distortion, I guess it adds a little more excitement back into it, and sometimes that can be desirable. Alright, so how would I use this in a real world situation? I would probably just use automation. You could bounce this one section, bring it to a separate track, and then process that one track. I would probably just automate. So this Q10 here, like I said, already sounds pretty good. It sounds great, so we would just leave that loaded. I would right click, show automation here in Cubase, go read, pull open more, ins, Q10, and then choose the bypass. This way I can literally just turn on that little section. So Q10 is only going to turn on that telephone effect right here where we want it. Now you can adjust these points so that it turns on and off at different times. Maybe you need to, scoot it back a little bit so the attack comes in sooner, or you want it to start later, quicker, whatever. But that's the gist of it, really. If it's not loud enough, all you have to do is turn this output gain right here up or down. That way you don't have to worry about additional automation. But that's pretty much it. Utilizing the telephone effect is one of the easiest things because it's just a couple filters. Or if you have a Q10, it's just the click of a button. Same with the JST gain reduction here. Another cool thing you can do I just thought of, sometimes underneath the telephone effect, it sounds cool to put like a vinyl scratchy sound. You don't want to do that all the time, obviously, because then you could overuse it. But if you know what I'm talking about, that old vinyl scratchy sound that you hear on old records, sometimes if you layer that underneath the telephone effect, that can sound really cool as well. But I hope that was helpful. I hope you learned something. I hope you realize how easy it is and how you can start utilizing this in your mixes right now. Until next time, Devin out.
So now you know how to do your own telephone effect. Tell me something, if you've already known how to do this and you've used it in one of your songs previously, or if you haven't yet and you intend to now because you've seen this video, let me know. Send me the song, I would love to hear it. And if you want your music mixed by us at Droids Recording Studio, please contact any of the links in the low end. We look forward to chatting with you. Until next time, always use your blinker and change your strings.